All right, well, here we go again. White House holds press briefing. Channel on YouTube, NBC News. Posted 101 minutes ago. Oh, by the way, today is February. What is today? February 27th. It's Wednesday. I think it's February 27th, 2024. So, watch as White House Press Secretary Karin Jean-Pierre holds a press briefing. Okay. 5,900 views. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, the video is how long is it? I don't know. No, 50-some minutes long. We're just going to join in here. It's the beginning.
Hi, hello, thanks, Rachel. All right, a couple of things.
All right, well, come on. I'm already, not liking this. What the heck is that? What is that? That's not how press briefings go. What's that like? What is that? That is so unprofessional. I don't know this person at all. I've never met him. I don't know anything about him, really. I just know they're standing at the podium and it says the White House across there and there's an American flag standing there. They represent the President of the United States. Guys, I feel like a broken record at this point. Come on. Here, just do this. Forget who that is. Their face doesn't matter. No. That's the President of the United States speaking. Now, I don't think Joseph Robinette Biden would be standing up there and laughing. So why are they laughing? It's not about this person. They don't matter. They don't make decisions. They're really not even important. No, of course they're not. They serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. At the pleasure of. Meaning, you could just say, oh, I'm not pleased today, and they're gone. I don't think Joseph Robinette Biden, I don't know how he could possibly take pleasure in this kind of thing going on, but then again, it doesn't matter. He's still responsible for the fact that these people are standing here. It doesn't matter. He's responsible. Well, I tell you what, let's just go a little bit more. I can barely stand it, Really. It's just sad. I don't understand, man. Gosh. You know what? I grew up in the days of Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes, the cartoons, Looney Tunes. Yeah, Mel Blanc, all that. Yeah. Well, those were funny as hell back then. They're still funny as hell, but those Looney Tune cartoons had more meaning in them than this does.
Top before we get going. The president has been receiving updates on the wildfires that have already scorched over 500,000 acres across the Texas Panhandle. We are grateful.
500,000 acres. 500,000 acres. That's incredible. My God. So casual about this.
For the brave firefighters and first responders who are working to protect people and save lives. And we urge everyone in the affected area to remain vigilant and heed the warnings of local officials, especially those who have been ordered to evacuate. White House and federal officials are in close contact with state and local officials on the front lines of these fires, and FEMA and the U.S. Forest Service are...
Where is the President of the United States at? I don't know, man. I mean, well, let's listen on.
Providing assistance to the state.
But you know what? I mean, I know I feel like a broken record. I think I'm watching and listening to a broken record. There was an announcement similar to this back in August of 2023, where the FEMA director got up there, and I think it was August 30th or something. I saw it on C-SPAN when they were talking about the Hurricane Ida, or whatever it was, some hurricane that came into Florida. Yeah. And at the time, it was just after the time of the Maui problem. The fires in Maui. Yeah. August. This is like a repeat of that. It sounds the same exact words. Seems like it to me. I'd have to go back and listen to it.
Specifically, FEMA has issued...
Well, I mean, no, they are reading off a script. Aren't they? Isn't that a script they're reading? Why are they reading off a script? Well, somebody wrote that. I don't know. It doesn't matter about this person. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. None of it matters. The President of the United States is responsible for all of this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
2 fire management assistant grants to support Texas and 1 grant for Oklahoma. The National Interagency Fire Center and the U.S. Forest Service are also providing firefighting assistance, including tanker planes. As always, we stand ready to provide further support as needed. And tomorrow, following Secretary Becerra's trip to Alabama, the White House Gender Policy...
Who's Secretary Becerra? Who's Secretary Becerra? Who is Secretary Becerra? Let's find out. Oh, well, I see. Well, here, this says it's from the White House. This says whitehouse.gov/administrations/cabinet. The cabinet, the Biden-Harris administration. Navigate this section. The cabinet's role is to advise the president on any subject he or she may require relating to the duties of each member's respective office. The cabinet's role is to advise the president on any subject that the president may require relating to the duties of each member's respective office. President Joe Biden Cabinet includes Vice President Kamala Harris and the heads of the 15 executive departments. The Secretaries of Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health, Human Services, Homeland Security, Housing, Urban Development, Interior, Labor, State, Transportation, Treasury and Veterans Affairs, and the Attorney General. Additionally, the Cabinet includes the White House Chief of Staff, the United States Ambassador to the United Nations, the Director of National Intelligence, and the U.S. Trade Representative, as well as heads of the Environmental Protection Agency, Office of Management and Budget, Council of Economic Advisors, Office of Science and Technology, Policy, and Small Business Administration. President Biden's cabinet reflects his pledge to appoint leaders of government agencies that reflect the country they aim to serve in order of succession to the presidency. In order of succession to the presidency? In order of succession to the presidency? Kamala Harris, Anthony Blinken, Janet Yellen, Lloyd Austin, Merrick Garland, Secretary of the Interior. Well, what the hell are they talking about? Well, there is no succession to the office of the presidency. William Burns, director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Jeff Zeitz. Who are these people again? Who writes this stuff anyway? For God's sake. It doesn't matter. The President of the United States is responsible for this. Yep. Kamala Harris, Vice President. Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State. Well, I know these first three people. Lloyd Austin, I know about him. Yeah. Secretary of Defense. Merrick Garland, I know about him. I don't know anything about this person. Deb Haaland, I don't know them. Oh, Tom Vilsack. Oh, I've heard of him before. I think he's from somewhere out in the West. Gina Raimondo. Yeah, well, wasn't she the governor of Rhode Island? Julie Sue. Oh, acting labor. Oh, well, I don't know Julie Sue. Javier Becerra. He's been around a while. Yeah, he is. That's who they were referring to in the video we were just watching. Yeah, that's why I looked this up. Marcia Fudge, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Pete Buttigieg, I know him. He was from, anyway, Bend, Indiana or something, yeah. Jennifer Granholm. Oh, I'm familiar with her. Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with him. Yeah. He was from Connecticut for a while. It was from Connecticut, yeah. Dennis McDonough. Okay, I don't know. Alejandro Mayorkas. That's the guy they just tried to impeach in the House. How ridiculous was that idea? Michael Reagan, Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. Avril Haines, Director of National Intelligence. Director of National Intelligence. Who is that? I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is either. Linda Thomas Greenfield. Jared Bernstein. Isabel Guzman. Shalonda Young. Dr. Ariati. Well, I know about the Office of Science and Technology. That was created by Ronald Reagan. Yeah. This Technology Advisory Council. Ronald Reagan did that. I don't know. Management and budget. Okay. Small business. Economic advisors. Yes. Trade representatives. National intelligence. That was created in... George W. Bush created that after 9/11 in the reorganization of the government. Yeah. Yes. Well, Homeland Security, that was created too. That was a new thing. George W. Bush, that was the part of the reorganization. We didn't have that before then. No. Veterans Affairs, we've had that. Education. Well, that education, that's been a come and go kind of a thing, I think, for gosh sakes. There used to be health, education, and welfare and one thing. And yeah, that's all been different. Energy, Secretary of Energy. Oh, I don't know about that. Boy, they've reorganized. I tell you what, they've reorganized the United States government a lot of times. They sure have. Transportation, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. It used to be Health, Education, and Welfare. I mean, Health and Human Services. Yeah, well, that's been around. Well, that's when the education got out or something. Labor, we've had that for a while. Commerce, Secretary of Commerce. Well, when did that become a secretary? How long has that been a secretary? Agriculture. Interior. We've had Interior for a long time. Attorney General, of course. Defense. Well, we haven't even had defense for Secretary of Defense. That was Roosevelt who created that. It used to be called the War Department before Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Him and Congress reorganized all of that and called it the Defense Department. Yeah, they built the Pentagon building. They did. The War Department used to be in the Executive Office building next to the White House or the Eisenhower building. That's where the War Department was. President Grant built that building. It was the largest office building there was when they built that. And then Roosevelt had the Pentagon built. And they changed it to the Department of Defense and created the Joint Chiefs of Staff and that whole structure. Yeah, they changed the whole thing. At some point they did. But for part of the war, the Air Force was still under the Army. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not an expert, but there's a lot of changes that went on. That's all I know. I don't know about all these other things down here. Yeah, I don't. And I don't know why William Burns, you know what? I don't even know why this whole list even exists. I don't even know why this exists. In order of succession. What are you talking about? There is no order of succession to the president. It's the vice president. It's the president, vice president. After that, it's the Speaker of the House. And then after the Speaker of the House, then after the Speaker of the House, then maybe cabinet offices. I don't know. It's not supposed to get that far. We're not supposed to have a problem with this in this country. Not in the United States of America. Oh, gosh. Well, let's go back. Let's go back now. Yeah, boy, I'm going to have to check out who some of these people are now. I know William Burns. Yeah, well, anyway. She seems familiar too, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, let's go back. Where were we? Here we are. Oh, Becerra. Okay, let's go back. I got to go back. Boy, we're only, where are we at? We're only at 1 minute. I'm only 1 minute in, and my video's already 17 minutes long.
Council and Office of Public Engagement will host a listening session on the importance of access to IVF following a devastating Alabama Supreme Court decision. The Biden-Harris administration will continue to speak out against this ruling, fight to protect access to reproductive health care, including IVF, and call on Congress to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade in federal law for all.
What? Gosh, let's just, the sun, the moon, and the stars. That's not going to pass through Congress. Of course it's not. There's not enough votes in the House to do that. Why is that an objective? My gosh, what a foolish idea. Who is that for? Is this just some election ploy or something to sound good? Boy, anybody who knows anything knows that that's not going to pass. It'll never pass. It won't get through the House. I don't think it'll get through the Senate either. They'll say anything to try to win an election, I guess. Well, they're politicians. Well, she's not. Remember, it don't matter. President Biden is saying this. President Biden is saying that he's going to support putting this legislation through. I guess he can, whatever. I don't know, but it ain't going to pass. It'll never pass. Anyway, I don't get it. And there's 500,000 acres burning and they're talking about this stuff? Oh my goodness. Remember, she doesn't matter. And for that much, none of these people matter either. No. Every single person on this list serves at the pleasure of the President of the United States. At the pleasure of. Meaning, he wakes up this morning and says, I don't feel too pleased, and they're gone. Period. He just says it, and it happens. Period. They're gone instantly. Yeah, they are gone. That's how it works in the United States of America. They serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. Period. Meaning he can be displeased today, and so he changes it. They're gone. Period. Out the door. Gone. Yeah. It's politics. He doesn't have to have a reason. He just wakes up and says, I don't feel pleased today. Every single person on this list at the pleasure of the President of the United States. Period. I don't know what all this mumbo jumbo is. I have no idea what all that is. Anyway, here we go. Let's go back for just a minute. Here we go.
Women in every state. And we will have more, obviously, to share on this event later today. Also today, President Biden will sign an executive order to protect Americans' sensitive personal data from exploitation.
How's he going to do that? What kind of an executive order is that? An executive order? Well, the federal government has been buying data anyway. They have from data brokers. Yes. So it's reported anyway. I don't know. The federal government itself has been buying data from data brokers. It's been reported several times that they have already. Well, what are they going to do about it? Are they going to stop buying the data themselves?
And by countries of concern. This is the most significant executive action any president has ever taken to protect Americans' data security. It will authorize the Attorney General to prevent the large-scale transfer of Americans' personal data to countries of concern. And
authorize the Attorney General. The Attorney General can't act on an executive order. The Attorney General can only do what's in the law. They have to have legislation that the Attorney General acts according to. Attorney Generals don't enforce executive orders. No, they don't. The Attorney General is the attorney of the nation. They have a legal responsibility to follow the law in each and every case, period. They're not the personal attorney of the president. And they don't enforce executive orders, not the Attorney General. Remember, I don't know who wrote this script, and I really don't know who this is, but it doesn't matter. Joseph Robinette Biden, President of the United States of America, is responsible for all of this. It looks like a mess to me. It's not a circus, that's organized. It's not Looney Tunes, that's entertaining. It's just a mess. I mean, my goodness. No wonder people in the United States, no wonder people in this United States, no wonder they're disillusioned. Look at this mess. Who could have confidence in any of this? It makes no sense to anybody. These reporters are all sitting there, though. I don't know. And let's see. Let's take a look at the reporters.
And provides safeguards around other activities that can give those countries access to sensitive data. Buying data through data brokers is currently legal in the United States, and that reflects a gap in our national...
Oh, there. See, she says that buying it is legal. Well, the United States government has been buying it as well. They can't get it on their own, supposedly. But they do buy it from data brokers. That means me and you and everybody else's taxes have been gone into the coffer of the government, which is our government, and then is being paid out to buy data from data brokers, data that was collected by big tech. Who collected it based on advertising dollars that they took from corporations. That's how they got it in. I mean, it's like, oh my God. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to be incompetent. There's no deceit here. I don't even know if it's incompetence. I don't know what it is. I think it's sad and it's a mess and oh my gosh. Well, it doesn't matter. President of the United States is still responsible for all this. They are. All this mess they are. Sure he is.
Today, we are taking narrowly crafted steps to close that gap. As a result of the EO, the Department of Justice will begin a process to put regulations in place to...
EO, Executive Order. Well, here, let's listen to this. What are they doing? What's she talking about? This, granted, the video's at 2 minutes and 16 seconds. My video's already at 24 minutes. Let's hear this.
Data to countries of concern and provides safeguards around other activities that can give those countries access to sensitive data. Buying data through data brokers is currently legal in the United States, and that reflects a gap in our national security. Today, we are taking narrowly crafted steps to close that gap. As a result of the EO, the Department of Justice will begin a process to put regulations in place to prohibit the sale of data, or
Oh, I gotta go back. What did she say? Did she just say that because of the executive order, the Department of Justice is going to write regulations? Well, the Department of Justice, which is under the Attorney General, of course they have regulations internally to how they operate the Department of Justice. Of course they do, which includes the FBI, you know. The FBI works under the Department of Justice. It's one part of the Department of Justice. Of course they have rules and regulations for their own department, but they don't write gosh, what the heck?
Security. Today, we are taking narrowly crafted steps to close that gap. As a result of the EO, the Department of Justice will begin.
As a result of the executive order, the Department of Justice
in a process to put
will begin. So, because of the executive order, the Department of Justice will begin a process
regulations in place to prohibit the sale.
To put regulations in place that will prohibit the sale
of data, or
the sale of data,
or put in place a cybersecurity safeguards on the transfer of data.
Oh, you can't do that through a regulation. No, of course not. Well, this is just wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking. Of course it's wishful thinking. Whatever. Granted, it doesn't matter what this person says. There's a process for doing regulations in the United States. Yes, the Administrative Procedures Act. So they could say whatever they want to say. President Biden can sign whatever executive orders he wants to sign. That's his prerogative, of course. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen. No. Any regulations or anything that comes out that affects the people of the United States, there's a process. Yes. It's called the Administrative Procedures Act. And even those can be reviewed by the Supreme Court or a federal court. Yeah, it's a long process. A long and winding road. Yeah. To implementing the regulations. Yeah, it is.
Of course, throughout this process, we engage heavily with industry and other stakeholders to minimize any unintended economic impacts that will continue as this process moves forward. The administration is committed.
Oh, well, there won't be any impact. No, because they're just thinking. Whatever. Oh my gosh. It's like me looking through the Spiegel catalog at Christmas time when I was little. Yeah, there's lots of toys in there to look at, and we couldn't wait till the catalog came out so we could start thinking about Christmas time. But I knew one thing, Santa Claus wasn't bringing me those presents. No, I knew my family was going to have to buy them. Yes, that's right. Sure. I don't know how they got them, but anyway, I don't know, but they did. Oh my gosh. I feel like, oh, mercy.
To protecting American safety and privacy, and we will continue to take appropriate action to ensure their protection. With that, Amar, you want to kick us off?
Yes. Wait a minute. Okay, let's go. Here we go.
Leader McConnell's announcement today Did he call or let the president know if he was here yesterday ahead of the announcement that he would be making it?
So I don't have any details to read out to you outside of obviously the readout that we had, or beyond the readout that we had from yesterday. You heard directly from the president just moments ago. I believe you were in the room, Amr, and I'll quote.
He was in the room. What do you mean? He was in the room. What was he doing in the room? He's a reporter. And what room was he in? He's a reporter. What room was he in?
The president, he and I have trust. We have a great relationship. We fight like hell, but he has never misrepresented anything. I'm sorry, he's stepping down. I just don't have anything outside of that.
So to that end,
who's stepping down? Who is stepping down?
I don't have any details to read out to you outside of obviously the readout that we had of data. Of course, throughout this process, we engage heavily with industry and other stakeholders to minimize any unintended economic impacts that will continue as this process moves forward. The administration is committed to protecting American safety and privacy, and we will continue to take appropriate action to ensure their protection. With that, Amr, you want to kick us off?
On Leader McConnell's announcement today, did he call or let the president know if he was here yesterday ahead of the announcement that he would be making it?
So I don't have any details to read out to you outside of obviously the readout that we had, or beyond.
Does this say that Mitch McConnell is stepping down?
On the readout that we had from yesterday, you heard directly from the president just moments ago. I believe you were in the room, Amr, and I'll quote the president. He and I have trust. We have a great relationship. We fight like hell, but he has never misrepresented anything. I'm sorry, he's stepping down. I just don't have anything outside of that.
So to that end, what does this mean, if anything, for current negotiations on big items like the foreign aid supplemental or even the CR?
I don't presume it means anything, right? He said he's going to step down essentially by the end of the year. I don't think that affects his leadership. Leader McConnell has been a leader, as you know, for some time of the Senate. And
by the end of the year. Well, that's an interesting announcement. Since when do United States senators announce what they're doing? I don't know. My goodness.
He's been very clear, as well as the other three of the big four yesterday. They said it was important. They all agreed the importance of making sure Ukraine gets the funding that they need. They all four agreed with the president and the vice president on making sure that we keep the government open.
Who's the big four? Who is that? I don't know who that is.
And I think that's important to note. And so I don't think it affects Mitch McConnell's leadership in this current time as we're moving forward. Look, we have bipartisan support in the Senate, and we know that we have bipartisan support on the House side as it.
No, there isn't. Not really. Not even really in the Senate. I mean, bipartisan. No, I don't. Boy, why are they? I can't even believe this. Why are they talking about what the president's doing? Who cares what Congress is doing? This is the president. I mean, boy, most presidents really. I mean, come on, really, come on.
Relates obviously to the National Security Supplemental, and we want to see the House bring that forward and put that to the floor so we can see that moving, so we can make sure that the brave people of Ukraine gets the.
Yeah, he doesn't get to the floor unless Mike Johnson says so. He's the Speaker of the House. They don't vote on anything unless he says yes. Period. He runs the House. He's the Speaker.
Continues to get the assistance that they need from the United States.
And the leader also noted in his floor speech that Father Time remains undefeated, and it's time for the next generation of leadership. How does that sentiment resonate, if at all, with the president?
So I'll say this. Look, a decision like that Mitch McConnell, the senator, made is a very personal decision. And that is for an individual to make and decide on. And he spoke to it, so I'll certainly...
Yeah, I can't believe all this drama. It's like watching a soap opera. It is. It seems like it's a soap opera. Is this like the real housewives of the briefing room? I don't know what the heck this is. I don't know what I'm even watching, really. I do know what it is. That's the White House. That's the flag of the United States of America. And this person, doesn't matter what their name is. Who cares? They're not important. They don't make any decisions. They're quite meaningless in the whole scheme of things, according to the Constitution and laws and customs of the United States of America. This is the President of the United States. They serve at the pleasure of the President. This is just a bunch of a mess. It's sad. I can't even, you know what? Boy, oh boy. What the heck happened? I can't imagine what happened. I mean, my gosh, did they all get some new vaccine or something? I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine. You know, red pill, blue pill? I don't think so. They must have had some new vaccine rollout. I didn't have it. I didn't take it, though. Maybe they all signed up for it. I don't know. Maybe it's some inside the beltway thing. I don't know. My goodness.
Let the senator continue to speak to that if he chooses, and we know his words. We heard it on the floor of the Senate today. The president has been very clear. The president has said he wants to continue to deliver for the American people as he has done in the last 3 years, and
we heard it on the floor of the Senate today, she says. Here is C-SPAN. All right, here's Mitch McConnell's speech as reported on C-SPAN. They don't report it. It's supposed to be a live stream. Here we go. What the heck is that? Well, what the hell is that? There's no sound. Here we go. Where's the sound at?
Republican leader.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go.
As some of you may know, this has been a particularly difficult time for my family. We tragically lost Elaine's younger sister, Angela, just a few weeks ago. When you lose a loved one, particularly at a young age, there's a certain introspection that accompanies the grieving process. Perhaps it is God's way of reminding you of your own life's journey, to reprioritize the impact of the world that we will all inevitably leave behind. I turned 82 last week. The end of my contributions are closer than I'd prefer. My career in the United States Senate began amidst the Reagan Revolution. The truth is, when I got here, I was just happy if anybody remembered my name. President Reagan called me Mitch O'Donnell. Close enough, I thought. My wife Elaine and I got married on President Reagan's birthday, February 6th. It's probably not the most romantic thing to admit, but Reagan meant a lot to both of us. For 31 years, Elaine has been the love of my life, and I'm eternally grateful to have her by my side.
It's Elaine Chao. She served this country as well. She has. His whole family has served this country. Courageously, actually. With dedication and devotion.
I think back to my first days in the Senate with deep appreciation for the time that helped shape my view of the world. I'm unconflicted.
And there's the distinguished lady from the state of Maine sitting there in support and solidarity.
About the good within our country and the irreplaceable role we play as the leader of the free world. It's why I worked so hard to get the national security package passed earlier this month. Believe me, I know the politics within my party at this particular moment in time. I have many faults. Misunderstanding politics is not one of them. That said,
That's right. Mitch McConnell, my goodness. Gosh, not the greatest. There's no one who could compare, even measure up to Mitch McConnell. Politics? My gosh, he's not a genius at it. There's no comparison. He speaks the truth there. Yes, he's being rather modest, but that's, of course he is. My gosh. Talk about a mind. I tell you, it's natural to Mitch McConnell. That's why it seems so like something that doesn't even exist, you know? It's just natural to him.
I believe more strongly than ever that America's global leadership is essential to preserving the shining city on a hill that Ronald Reagan discussed.
That's right. It is. Of course it is.
As long as I'm drawing breath on this earth, I will defend American exceptionalism.
Yes, that's correct.
So as I've been thinking about when I would deliver some news to the Senate, I always imagined a moment when I had total clarity and peace about the sunset of my work. A moment when I'm certain I have helped preserve the ideals I so strongly believe. That day arrived today. My goals when I was narrowly elected to the Senate back in 1984 were fairly modest. Do a good job for the people of Kentucky.
You know what? Mitch McConnell in 1984, Joseph Robinette Biden was elected in 1972. 12 years before Mitch McConnell. President Biden was sitting in that Senate from Delaware. 12 years before Mitch McConnell.
And convince them that by doing so, they might rehire me for a second term. That was it. That was the plan. If you would have told me 40 years later that I would stand before you as the longest serving Senate leader in American history, frankly, I would have thought you'd lost your mind. I have the honor of representing Kentucky in the Senate longer than anyone else in our state's history. I just never could have imagined that happening when I arrived here in 1984 at 42. I'm filled with heartfelt gratitude and humility for the opportunity. But now it's 2024. I'm now 82. As Ecclesiastes tells us, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. To serve Kentucky in the Senate has been the honor of my life. To lead my Republican colleagues has been the highest privilege. But one of life's most underappreciated talents is to know when it's time to move on to life's next chapter. So I stand before you today, Mr. President, and my colleagues to say this will be my last term as Republican leader of the Senate. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. However, I'll complete my job my colleagues have given me until we select a new leader in November and they take the helm next January. I'll finish the job the people of Kentucky hired me to do as well, albeit from a different seat, and I'm actually looking forward to that. So it's time for me to think about another season. I love the Senate. It's been my life. There may be more distinguished members of this body throughout our history, but I doubt there were any with any more admiration for the Senate. After all this time, I still get a thrill walking into the Capitol, and especially on this venerable floor, knowing that we, each of us, have the honor to represent our states and do the important work of our country. But Father Time remains undefeated. I'm no longer the young man sitting in the back, hoping colleagues would remember my name. It's time for the next generation of leadership. As Henry Clay said in this very body in 1850, the Constitution of the United States was not made merely for the generation that then existed, but for posterity.
Yes, because that's what it says. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, do hereby ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States. For our posterity. Yes. That's what it says right in the preamble.
Unlimited, undefined, endless, perpetual posterity. So time rolls on. There'll be a new custodian of this great institution next year. I won't surprise you to know I intend to turn this job over to a Republican majority leader. I have full confidence in my conference to choose my replacement and lead our country forward. There'll be other times to reminisce. I'm immensely proud of the accomplishments I've played some role in obtaining for the American people. Today is not the day to discuss all of that, because as I said earlier, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. There are many challenges we must meet to deliver for the American people, and each will have my full effort and attention. I still have enough gas in my tank to thoroughly disappoint my critics, and I intend to do so with all the enthusiasm with which they become accustomed. So to my colleagues, thank you for entrusting me with our success. It's been an honor to work with each of you. There'll be plenty of time to express my gratitude in greater detail as I sprint towards the finish line, which is now in sight. I yield the floor.
Well, my goodness. I mean, this says that this is live. It says that it's live. What is that in the corner? Like, what was that in the corner? It must be live. It is live because I can't go back. I don't know. It says it's live. I don't know if it's live or not. I don't know. Let's see what. I have no idea if it's live or not. I don't know. Whatever. C-SPAN 2. Senator Mitch McConnell will step down Republican leader in November. Serious Senate. Okay. February 28th. Oh, that's today. User connection, extreme hard right, 1, 2. Oh, look at that. I mean, what the heck is this on C-SPAN? I mean, what is that? A coupon on frickin' C-SPAN? Are you kidding me? Really? Are you kidding me? All right, well, there we go. That's it. So let's go back. Here we go. Let's go back.
Historic fashion. This is a historic presidency. When you think about how we've turned the economy around, when you think about how we've been able to, the president's been able to beat big pharma and let Medicare negotiate for the American people, making sure that we're getting these prices to be lower. A climate change agenda. Passing the Inflation Reduction Act, an incredibly important piece of legislation, obviously that is now law. That's going to move the climate situation in a direction that is in a positive way, right? And make sure that we're dealing with the climate change issue. So there's a lot of things that the president has done. He wants to continue that. And that's what he's looking towards to do. And obviously you'll hear a lot more from him next week as he addresses Congress.
And just indulge just one non-McConnell question.
Yeah, sure.
He's going to order tomorrow. What should we expect him to see and do? And what's his objective? What does he hope to accomplish tomorrow?
So, as you all know, we've announced, and you all reporting, he's going to go to Brownsville, Texas tomorrow. He's going to meet with Border Patrol agents, law enforcement officials, frontline personnel, and local leaders. While he is there, the president will be briefed by officials from the Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Citizens and Immigration Services, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And the president will also deliver remarks to highlight the need for Congress to pass the bipartisan border security agreement that was negotiated out of the Senate, as you know, not too long ago, and took 4 months. 4 months of us, the White House, working with Republicans and Democrats in the Senate to get that done. And obviously, Republicans have rejected that because of politics.
Thanks, Karin. The president said he's sorry to hear that McConnell is stepping down, but what impact broadly does he believe this will have on the Republican Party, on the future of the party and the future of Congress?
Look, I'm not going to get into...
Where's her credentials badge? Where's that lady's credentials badge? The lady in the purple who just asked the question, where's her credentials badge?
Into evaluating or looking into how this is going to affect the Republican Party. That's for them to speak to. What we're going to continue to do is work on behalf of the American people. We know where the Big Four stand as it relates to making sure that we get
the Big Four. Who? I know about the Gang of Eight, but who's the Big Four? Do they mean the leader of the Senate, the minority leader of the Senate? I mean, is that what they're talking about? The Speaker of the House and the ranking member? Is that what the Big Four is? They had the Big Four during World War II. The Big Four. They had it then. Yeah. What was the Big Three? My gosh, I don't understand. Remember, it doesn't matter. They're not important. They're meaningless. They serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. He could wait. He could decide in 10 minutes, I'm displeased, and they're gone. It's how it works. It is how it works. Everybody knows that. It's been that way forever. Yes, it has been that way forever. Yeah. As Freddie Mercury said, nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Yeah, no, it doesn't. No, of course it doesn't.
National Security Supplemental done in a bipartisan way. It was done in the Senate in a bipartisan way. We want to see that get to the floor. We know where the Big Four stood yesterday on making sure that there is not a shutdown, that
God,
is avoided.
It hurts my ears to hear that. I mean, gosh. Boy, leave it up to Washington. Another euphemism. You know what? My gosh, no wonder the people of the United States, who would even tune into this? I can't even believe I'm watching it myself. Not really. It's hard to believe. I mean, there's a lot of other things I'd rather be doing, quite honestly. There really are, but, well, I happen to be doing this right now, so anyway, let's just continue.
Congress do its job and keep the government open and make sure that Americans get the programs that they need from the federal government. Important programs, important resources that is critical to the American people. That's where we stand. That's what we understand. as it relates to the Republican Party, that's for the Republican Party to speak to.
And did the president take a mental fitness or cognitive test during his physical this morning?
So let me just say I did see Dr. Honor, and he stopped by my office earlier today after the president completed his physical this morning.
What are they talking about? The physician to the president stopped at the office of the spokesperson? Well, do they even have their name on a door? Maybe not. I don't think they're that important. I know they're not important. They're not important to anybody at all. No, this is probably the least of the positions. Just ask President Trump about that. Look at how many press secretaries he had. 11? I don't know. A dozen? He ran through them till he got the one that was right, or the one that was his pleasure. He became displeased, so he got rid of them. That's right. There's a list of people there. I don't even remember their names now because it's not important. They spoke on behalf of President Trump. He was displeased with what they said. Out they go. It gets another one. That's right. A lot of criticism of that back in the day, if I remember right. I don't know why anybody would criticize that. Don't they know these people serve at the pleasure of the president? My God. Corporate CEOs don't have that power. Of course they don't. It's a job. It's labor. There's regulations about hiring and firing stuff, and not here there isn't. You wake up as president and you're displeased today. You get rid of the people you selected. Boom. It's over. That's right. You're out of a job. Yeah. Because it's not a job. No, it's not a job. No, it's not. You're a servant to the President of the United States, not to the people. No, you serve the President of the United States. You're a servant. Yes, you are a servant. That's what it means to serve. It means you're a servant. Serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. Period. No questions asked. It's not a monarchy, for God's sakes. It's how it works. There's no provision in the Constitution except for the executive authority shall be vested. Yeah, they don't even talk about all this. No, there aren't even cabinet positions in the Constitution. Of course there isn't. That's all established by law. You gotta read it.
As you all know, he was happy with how everything went. And as soon as he finishes completing the memo, it will be a robust, comprehensive memo. We will certainly share that with all of you, as we have done in the last 2 years.
Oh, that sounds foolish. What a foolish thing. You know, these reporters, well, they're sitting there doing their job. That's all they're supposed to do. They show up and ask, they're just doing their job. That's all. That's all they're doing. Yeah, what a mess this is. It's a mess.
And look, you saw the
It
president.
might be a mess, but you know what I'm thankful for? I know who's in charge. The President of the United States is the boss. Yeah. Yes, yeah. He is. He's responsible for all of this. Yeah. He could be displeased today if he chooses to. He could be.
Return to work. He took some of your questions not too long ago, and you saw he's going to continue to fight for the American people. In this particular instance, he was talking about
He returned to work? What are you talking about? He returned to work.
fighting.
What are you talking about? Return to work? What do you mean return to work? What did she just say?
I did see Dr. Honor, and he stopped by my office earlier today after the president completed his physical this morning, as you all know. He was happy with how everything went. And as soon as he finishes completing the memo, it will be a robust, comprehensive memo. We will certainly share that with all of you, as we have done in the last 2 years. And look, you saw the president return to work. He took some of your questions not too long.
Saw the president return to work. Oh my God. Well, you know what? There you go, right there. That's it. Return to work. That's not possible. The president is on the job 24 hours a day. The president doesn't return to work. If the president's returning to work, that's a serious problem. That's not a problem. That's a crisis. This is a constitutional crisis. It's a constitutional crisis. But once again, it doesn't matter what they say. It may not be any crisis at all. Might not be. Might not. Because it doesn't matter what this person says. They're meaningless. Yes, we'd have to hear from the president directly. Who knows? I have no idea. I really don't know. I mean, I'm not a henny penny. The sky is falling. Of course not. But these are alarming words. Because they matter. The words matter. It doesn't matter they're coming out of this person's mouth, though. No, they don't matter. They could put a speaker there, actually. They could just put a little boom box and let it talk, might as well. I mean, because this doesn't matter, It doesn't matter.
Ago, and you saw he's going to continue to fight for the American people. In this particular instance, he was talking about fighting crime. So the president's going to continue that process. As it relates to, you were asking me about a cognitive test. As it relates to that, look, the president doesn't need a cognitive test. That is not my assessment. That is not my assessment. That is the assessment of the president's doctor. That is also the assessment of the neurologist, who has also made that assessment as well. And
what are the names of these medical professionals? What are their names? Who are they? They have a medical license as well. I mean, what is going on?
And you've heard us say this, and I'll reiterate this. The president's doctor has said, if you look at what this president, the president who is also the commander-in-chief, he passes a cognitive test every day.
Oh my God. Yeah, they are the commander-in-chief. Yeah. But that's only as good as the generals under you.
Every day, as he moves from one topic to another topic, understanding the granular level of these topics. You saw him talk about fighting crime today. Tomorrow he's going to go to the border. Next week he's going to give a State of the Union address. And so we have to keep that.
Next week, a State of the Union address? It's March. We don't have States of the Unions in March. Do I gotta check my own calendar or something? Is it January? What do I gotta check my calendar?
That in mind. This is a very rigorous job, and the president has been able to do this job every day for the past 3 years. And let's not forget, he is also leading a historic presidency, which is also important to note in everything that we've been able to do. He's been able to get done.
I'm so tired of hearing this person speak from the podium talking about we. Yeah. What do? Got a turd in their pocket or something? We? I don't think so. I think somebody slipped the green weenie. I think so.
Over the past 3 years.
But given that there's been so much scrutiny and you say there's no problem, he'd pass the test every day, why not just have his doctor administer the test and then case closed?
Because the doctor doesn't believe that he needs one. Because including the neurologist doesn't believe he needs one. Look.
Well, that's correct. The President of the United States doesn't submit to tests. No. The cabinet has a responsibility here, according to the Constitution. If the president in any way is not fit or there's questions, the members of the cabinet have a responsibility. They do. It's in the Constitution. It's in an amendment, which makes it part of the Constitution.
I think folks need to understand that the president passes, again, a cognitive test every day. If you look at what a clinical cognitive test is actually, it actually...
You know what? Thou doth protesteth too much. Yes. Look at this. I swear, it's like some kind of reality TV show, which isn't reality anyway. We know that's all scripted anyway. Reality TV? I live reality every day. I'm in reality right now. I'm sitting here in my house. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's reality.
It is a 15-minute appointment. That is administered by someone that most of the time people don't actually know. And and the president has a team of doctors that is with him 24/7, and he is able to.
A team of doctors? Well, there's a White House doctor. There are medical people in the White House. Of course there are, yes. A team? I don't know. 1st and 10, do it again. I don't know what kind of team.
To do the work every day that is rigorous, that is more rigorous than it would be for any 15-minute clinical appointment. And
oh, this is just mumbo jumbo, babble, 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 mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo. This is meaningless. Yeah, this person's meaningless anyway, and these words are meaningless at this point. Yes, my goodness.
About the job growth, you think about the record small business action, you think about the bloom in that particular space of 16 million more.
A bloom? A bloom? Oh my gosh. Call FTD, I guess. Let's just let FTD solve all of our problems. Yeah, let's have more blooming going on.
And created. You think about delivering historic investment. That has been done by a president who has to deal with these issues every day, again, on a granular level. And so his doctor, including the neurologist, do not believe that he needs one. That is their assessment.
Is the president's expectation still that a ceasefire will take place in Gaza starting on Monday?
So, look, the president obviously and his team is working 24/7 for some time now, as you all know, to get to a safe.
Well, I gotta end this now. This this gotta be done. Yeah. Yes, it's gotta be over. It's 1 hour and 6 minutes. And the video itself is only at the 11 minutes and 39 seconds. Yeah, that's it. The video is only 11 minutes and 39 seconds. Yeah. 11 minutes and 39 seconds. I can't sit here through any more of this. No, and my video's at 1 minute and 6 minutes. 1 hour and 6 minutes. Oh my gosh.